got, is Tim joining us?
Tim's not gonna join us.
Okay, gotcha.
And Elliot. It's got
Fair enough.
so much information here. You can save that one.
That's well, now the record knows. Let the record state about Elliot. All right. And now it looks like maybe we have Ashley as well. Maybe that's AC. Okay, oh, perfect. All right, well. So this meeting, we're just gonna try to agree on the scope of work with consensus planning so they can help us navigate, all of the ins and outs, trying to get a master design done for Allen Fields. This is the first time I've ever done one of these. So I can definitely, defer to other people.
So I think I guess I could start. Ken, I think what we've identified as part of the scope of work is we're definitely looking at, from what the stakeholders have said throughout surveys and so forth, is that a rec center would definitely be part of Allen Fields' future. I think it may be the last thing that goes in, but it needs to be considered as far as the overall layout of Allen Fields. Potentially probably at the entrance, the current entrance, somewhere in that area. Something similar to Taos Youth and Family Center, I think, something of that size. Which would probably have an ice skating rink. And who knows what else? There's been push for volleyball fields, which I can send you the actual specs for that size of those volleyball fields. I'll send you the specs for the size for the horseshoe pits. And then, definitely a pump track and skate park are the biggest push. That's what we want to get going right now as far as identifying where that's gonna go. I did go to Picaris Pueblo too. It looked like the pump track and skate park really don't encompass a whole lot of area. And we have the rest, Patrick has built us the rest of that already, the downhill at the resort. So, are you able to look at the Picaris Pueblo and Taos Family Center as far as an aerial to get kind of a idea of what the size of those areas look like?
I mean,
Yes.
not really like what you said, Jeff, as far as like having it a Red Bull approved pump track. You have any input on that? And they've been doing lots of.
I don't really know what that really means, so to speak.
Yeah, I know, me neither, so.
So
I mean, they.
the Picaris Pueblo is,
an event.
if you were able to do what Picaris Pueblo has, I believe, that's Red Bull approved. Now, that may be the track behind the pump track,
Right.
but we'll have to get some clarification
I would
on
think
that.
for us to keep things simple moving forward, we need to focus on family friendly. Pump tracks, I don't know.
Well, that one is.
It is, I mean, I've been out there and ridden it, and my things about it were, lifts are just way too steep, I think personally, but.
Okay.
But if you didn't know what you're doing, you could get hurt really.
Yeah, I mean, on that pro line,
Well, even the pump track.
or, yeah, the cable.
Yeah.
I'm trying, yeah, that's cool.
But anyways,
That's
stay on topic of.
Well, that's good input. I mean, the idea of that was to bring events to Angel Farms.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Yeah, when I think of Red Bull pump track, there's so many things.
Think of injuries.
That is a good point. Maybe, we'll have to ask.
Sponsored by Red Bull,
Two pump trucks.
that's what I would.
There may be some sort of standard for the UCI pump track organization. I'm looking it up right now that requires a pump track to be of a certain quality or a certain makeup for it to be part of like a championship sort of possibility. I'm looking into that right now. But certainly we can look at all these different program elements you're talking about, the Youth and Family Center, the Taos Youth and Family Center being the precedent for a rec center at the entry with an ice skating rink. volleyball fields, horseshoes, pump track for sure. There was, I sent a note to everybody, at least to Jeff, and the thought about the scope of work required to get, public input. Did you have a chance to look at that? I can certainly bring it up on stream if you like.
Yeah, go ahead and please share that for us.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
I just read it this morning real quick.
Here you go. That's what we thought was these are just my thoughts. You know, from what I understood our meeting, just the sort of the summarization of what I heard going on in the meeting. So the idea is that we would create these graphic discussion materials depicting the existing conditions, including the as-built conditions of the fields. And included in that would be the 95% drawings developed by Dennis Engineering for the expansion of the fields. So that would just give us a sense of the existing conditions, what kind of limitations we have, what are our constraints, including the floodplain and that sort of thing that could affect what we build where. That would be just a simple graphic. We have that graphic at hand, and we can certainly share that with you if you like. And then there would be a kickoff meeting with stakeholder interviews. And the kickoff meeting would just be to reiterate our scope of work and identify stakeholders that should be interviewed in groups or individuals. And those would be the primary stakeholders, such as the Village Council, Parks and Recreation Committee members, perhaps Public Works, in a variety of different ways. Sort of, we would identify those persons together, and then we would have a series of interviews that same day that we would have this kickoff meeting. And then we would kind of initiate a community survey, and I think that ought to be done through an online survey program. I think that would be the best way to go about it. Certainly, I'm open to suggestions about how that survey might take shape, such as flyers or some sort of public service announcement that would go out to everybody so we could reach more people than those persons that might receive it online. Plenty of feedback here would be
Yeah, I'm
would
sure we
be
can work
beneficial.
with Greg off as far as that survey, getting a survey out to all the property owners.
Yeah, maybe like a QR code on the flyer, and we can just plaster those all around town.
Yeah, I mean,
See how many businesses would let us stick one up at the entrance of their facility and to try to just capture walk-in traffic, because even though that they might, like, visitors might not be, like, I guess visitors are their own set of stakeholders. They may not fit specifically into the skate park, volleyball, horseshoe demographic, but we do want something for visitors to be able to enjoy kind of as a facility. So being able to capture just foot traffic of visitors in town would be really nice.
Right. That makes sense.
That could be a question on it, whether they're a visitor or resident, just so we can kind of separate it.
yeah, I mean, we
Yes.
should be able to do that. That's what we do with the workforce housing. Whatever it says, Survey Monkey.
Survey monkey.
That's what we did with the.
Oh, is that,
workforce
that's what it
housing,
was.
and we have a QR code on the
Nice,
flyer.
yeah, okay.
Flyer. And then whoever's contracted with the media, social media, flyer and all that.
Dennis, Ken, did you work with workforce housing on that?
No,
Okay.
I didn't. Couldn't we get Greg to have a little spot on his, is it a podcast, or he's got a little news
Mhm.
thing? Maybe Greg could announce it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, just do a whole podcast, no?
Okay,
Good.
all right. After we receive everything we can from the Survey Monkey, which would be I'm saying 2 to 3 weeks of responding time, which may be a little long because we only have 2 months, right, to get all our information together. It's gonna be a very tight schedule. Then we visit with y'all, get up to the site, and we develop master plan concepts with y'all, with everybody. We sit down and have a charrette situation. And a charrette is just a fancy way of saying a working group meeting, when we start all drawing and we all get to have feedback and give each other advice, sort of talk about where we want it to go and how the organization of the entire space begins to fit together. And we come
Yeah.
up with, yes, sir?
I was just agreeing.
And then we come up with several designs here in the office. We take all that information, sort of synthesize it into several different conceptual options to present to y'all, and you get a chance to give us a feedback. Usually it's a series of it's like a menu almost. Different things that you like best about this option versus that option. This is a really important thing. Everyone sort of comes to a sense of where they want this preferred conceptual design to go. And that's what we're aiming for, is a preferred conceptual design to take into your application to outdoor recreation. Oh, I didn't introduce Aiden. I'm sorry. Hi, Aiden's he's our intern. I'm sorry I didn't introduce him earlier. He's
Hello, sir.
yeah. He's going to Albuquerque Academy, and every once in a while we'll get an intern in here for a month, and they have a great opportunity to be exposed to different working environments and different professional fields of study. So real quick, we go to conceptual design, we get your feedback on several different options, and then we grab all that information and finalize the master plan graphics with phasing and cost estimates. As close as we can bring it. I recently had a project at the Angel Fire Cemetery. We've been working with the feds up there to redo the cemetery. It's kind of fallen apart because not enough attention was paid to the clay soils, and it's been kind of destroying some of the concrete. So we got an estimate about double what we expected. And prices are just really, really wild. So that's just to say that we're having a hard time hitting the correct and really knowing what the market is up there in Angel Fire, as well as what's down here in Albuquerque. Things are just a little topsy-turvy right now.
There. Topsy-turvy world.
Hey,
Yeah,
as far as stakeholders go, we should probably add the charter school as well as one of the stakeholders.
I think,
Kids can have a little survey.
I don't know why we wouldn't want to.
I mean, yeah, we will need to make sure that all the kids are doing the survey. for
Yeah.
sure.
Get the school a survey.
Yeah.
how should we concentrate on the high school? Should we talk to the high schoolers and maybe the physical education teachers?
Well, I
And the
think we can,
coaches.
have a physical education teacher take charge of it maybe and get with the kids and do that. Bring us the results of that survey.
Who is the PE teacher?
Is it
Jenna.
Jenna?
Jenna,
Okay, gotcha.
you have to be quick because, within a month, just because of school ending.
School being out, so so.
Which we're looking at 2 weeks, so.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So if you could so are you gonna do the survey, Ken? Are you gonna write up the survey with the QR code? Is that gonna be one of your tasks?
It will be, and certainly we won't release this without your full acknowledgement that we're on the right track.
Okay, so first is survey.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, quicker we can get that out.
Should we initiate that just right away?
Yes,
Think
please, yes.
That's the first thing we should take care of.
Yeah, and you can send, I guess, you can either send it to Jeff or myself, cause I don't know if Attila is in pocket, and then we can circulate it to the committee, for final approval.
You mean via email?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
via
way,
email.
get it done, it'd be great, don't meet about it.
For sure.
Yeah.
You mean you don't have another meeting about another meeting? This is government, man. We have to have more meetings. Are we ever gonna get anything done without more meetings? I have a question about, y'all's services, or is this already included in kind of the contract that you have with the village, or is this additional work? I just wanna know what we're sticking, if we're sticking the village for more money with you guys on this or not.
Well, that's a good question. I worked with Brett in January to put together a very consolidated scope of work for Allen Fields in January.
Okay,
And we have not received the approved proposal to do that work. So this would be an amendment to.
This is considered separate. There's gonna have to be a separate PO for this. And
okay,
we just need a quote from you in order to be able to open that PO before anything can get started.
Right, right. And this would be through the CES, which is a vetted, a sort of a program that vets persons like myself, service industries and contractors and other suppliers of materials. That they're pre-approved persons that village can utilize for these services.
So it's a state contract, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
gotcha. I just wanted to make sure that we're trying to cover all the ins and outs of this.
So yeah, your question, answer to your question is yes, it is gonna, cost more for this whole project. Yeah, it'll be costing the village more.
Okay,
Money well spent.
for sure.
It'll get paid that year. It's great.
I think it would be
So-
useful.
Okay, so just to make sure we're on the same page moving forward, so we're gonna start with the survey. That sometime, I don't know what your timeline on the survey is. Whatever is a reasonable time is good with us. The sooner that we can get it out, the sooner we can start collecting information. After that, do we need to, in this meeting, do we need to identify our stakeholders, or is that a additional, like, is that something that we do right now, or is that something that we do in the future?
I think
Well-
you could, whatever.
Yeah, so, I mean, the surveys, the community is the stakeholder.
Fair.
So,
Okay.
I mean, so we're gonna try to get the survey out to the community.
Okay,
Everyone in the
we
community.
so we identify stakeholders in the survey type thing.
Does that sound right to y'all?
That's for stakeholders.
Well, it's just like the different groups, right? So we have like kind of the pump track skate park group, we have the horseshoe pit group, we have the rec center group, we have the volleyball group, we have the dog park group. That's kind of what I mean by stakeholders. We have the high school kids.
Wouldn't that include the businesses that would volunteer or help?
Right,
Yeah.
I was kind of, when you say that, that's what I'm thinking, because I've got
All volunteers, that's not right.
businesses.
right, because I've got I've got other nonprofits, and in-kind contributions, a whole list of them for.
So basically,
See, like-
community, high school is included in that, and then
Okay.
businesses, I guess, would be
Yeah,
just community too, I know, but.
but still.
And like, then you'll begin a survey with the horseshoe pit people, Surge with the volleyball courts, the high school for the trail. I mean,
So are we doing different surveys?
no,
No,
it's just-
one-
the thing is just to get
Yeah.
a survey out to everybody we can.
Okay,
Yeah, softball and, soccer fields.
Yeah, Shay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great if on that survey there was like for a spot for like in-kind contributions or
Oh.
what are we talking? That's probably like when I say stakeholders, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, I got you.
Who's gonna contribute dirt? Who's gonna contribute this? Because if we could just go ahead and get their response and some sort of answer as to if they would like.
If they would like to, yeah, I'd like to.
Because
You got that,
then
kid?
we'd have their info. We
Yeah.
could at least have their email and all that. Yeah.
Would that be two different ones then?
Right.
Well, I
Maybe.
think it could be like maybe on the bottom, like,
Or just,
are you able to, like, are you able to contribute time, resources, donations to this endeavor?
Contact,
Yeah, here's your
Yeah.
contact information. Like,
contact,
yeah,
we'll,
or.
we'll have
their
their
contact.
anybody contact you, right?
Yeah, I mean,
For that.
anybody can contact me. I don't work. Got my phone all day.
Certainly, we can ask that question. If you can give in-kind assistance in any way, we can ask what people might be able to contribute.
Okay, I like that. That's a good idea.
We can give them our village email, the response to that.
I mean, I was just joking. Definitely, I will take care
I
of
was kind of too, I didn't mean to. You should go through the proper channel.
Yeah, that's fair. Probably go to the village.
Yeah, but if we could have, I mean, if they just put their contact info or something, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I have to figure out that.
Sweet.
And so then I guess, on yours, we were down, the last thing I have is that we do our phasing and cost estimates. And then after that, we would, after we kind of hone down the phasing, the cost and what plan we want to move forward, we would present to council. Is that kind of, or we'd sit down with you, finalize it, then present to council?
Yes, I think that's appropriate.
Okay.
What point is
And-
this?
There
Go
may be some feedback we need from council right during the conceptual design phase. And even some consultation with them as we come up with the finalization of the master plan graphics, just to get a sense of if we're on the right track. And when I think of stakeholders, I think about the possibility of interviewing the mayor or the counselor who's most involved in this effort too.
Yeah, you did bring up a good point about public works, getting them, they're part of the stakeholders as well.
Right.
Justify where utilities are.
Yeah, there's going to be a
No.
lot of infrastructure that needs to be delivered to the site.
It should be taken into consideration where some of these
Yeah, that's,
things are. It's there. Yeah, with respects to utilities.
makes sense.
I do think also that parking lot's definitely gonna have to be expanded, which would probably be part of that scope. That existing parking lot.
At what point does the survey, we talked about that in the last meeting, the survey need to kick in? Was that before the phasing planning would begin? Survey
Yes.
would you-
I think so. I think we initiate the community survey right away. Okay,
Not like physical.
The actual land.
I think Patrick's talking about like the actual physical survey, out there.
So I did talk to Brett and we were gonna have to use this for now.
Okay.
The survey is not budgeted yet to actually have a survey out there until
Okay.
after we get some of this identified. Well, I did get the survey. We all have the actual survey that was done. But it's not physically stable.
I believe
Oh,
they still need the AutoCAD file.
Oh, right.
That survey.
Yeah,
Somebody's got it.
yeah, I'm supposed to be working on that.
Supposed to be.
Well, get to work, Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be.
That's a bit,
It's hard to draw without some.
because it's, yeah.
Hard to draw without picture.
We all got a lot going on, a lot of moving parts for sure. So do we need to identify a timeline? With you right now as to when these things might want to take place. I mean, I know the surveys, we want to jump that off as soon as possible, but, a timeline for this kind of kickoff interview or the site walk, do we need to try to hammer out that roughly right now?
That would be beneficial.
Okay, yeah, it's however we can help you, help us. That's what we're, yeah, happy to do that. So what's a reasonable timeline for that survey? That we could look at that first draft and approve it. Is it a couple of days? Is it a day? Is it 4 days, 5 days?
I think it's definitely in a couple days.
Okay,
So by the end
So
of the
let's-
week, maybe we could think of finalizing it for distribution.
okay, gotcha. So survey finalized by end of week. And I guess we could do, we could definitely have some overlapping elements here. I'm just going through kind of the list that you had provided, so. That kickoff interview, would that be an in-person meeting, like its own town hall type forum thing? Or is that captured in the survey?
That would be an independent meeting up there in the village. The kickoff meeting and stakeholder interviews, unless I do those interviews, I could be doing interviews. Will you close the door? Interviews. And a kickoff meeting virtually. There's no reason why it needs to be up at the village, really. It's just, I don't know. There's no real reason that it needs to be in person. So we could do some works concurrently while we have this this survey out. We can have some conversations that begin to flesh out the program.
What do you need from us on that front? Do you need a list of the stakeholders and maybe like a contact with
Yes.
them? Is that okay, that's what you need from us on that.
Uh-huh.
Sounds like the first step is really to get this amendment approved by the village, is it not?
Yeah, that very definitely is.
Otherwise, you're working without a contract.
Yeah, they need to get paid.
That's
Yeah.
all right.
I think that's understood.
You're 100% right though, Chris. You're right. We should take that. We should knock that out.
Make sure you get paid.
And I don't really have a sense of how large Allen Fields is, acreage-wise or anything, but since we've been trying to always get a trail to there, it strikes me that if it's large enough, it might be worthwhile. I mean, like in circumference, a mile or something. There's often folks looking for kind of an easy mile hike, a loop around Allensfield, perhaps, if it's big enough. Just another idea.
That's a good idea.
And that's
I
in
like
the
that a
survey.
lot.
Put that on the survey. I mean,
Just a nice little,
Yeah, and then you have.
meandering trail around the whole thing. Yeah, something to.
when kids are playing soccer or baseball, the parents a lot of times like to get a hike in or a walk in, things
Great.
like that too.
Little safety meeting on the trail where the kids play.
That'd be great.
I think we'll also want to look at a spot for a playground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably close to a pump track or a skateboard.
Oh, yeah.
Cause that's important. Yeah, when, like with softball and games and stuff, there's always just kids running around playing in the mud pits and yeah, it's always good to have a playground.
Yeah, it'd be great if it was next to the pump track.
That would be cool.
Big part.
I know we haven't really talked about this, but we're not gonna let scooters on, right? Like, I'm just kidding. It's just a joke. We're not gonna let the scooter kids play, are we?
So, okay.
It goes back to our e-bike policy for the village.
Alright, so survey, I'm trying to finalize by the end of this week. We need to identify,
Oh, really?
Know where to write them.
we need to identify your the stakeholders, get them in contact with you, Kim, so you can facilitate those interviews.
Ken, I know the ones for the village would be like Kurt Epler and then, of course, the mayor and Brett. Then like the charter school, we'll be doing, we'll get Jen, her survey, we'll get the architecture committee, AFO, their survey, and business owners, their surveys. That's. I was just trying to backtrack it.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. So,
I didn't want to have another meeting on me.
yeah, no, for sure. I agree. So then, I guess at that point, we're now moving down the list, we're now at that community, sorry. Are we, okay, so then we're at the on-site visit and planning charrette, would those happen in kind of the same? But that would be just kind of one big thing, right? So we would set up a time, everybody, all stakeholders, anybody who wants to be involved, goes out to Allen Fields, walks the sites, we have discussions and come back here for that charrette.
Right. I suggest that happen mid-May.
Okay, I mean, mid-May is good, that's 3 weeks away realistically. Crazy, it's already May, 2026 going.
Summer starts 15th, so we may be losing you.
Not like, as bad as the winter, but.
That's fair, man, all right, so mid-May,
Yeah, that second week, maybe the week of the 11th there, any of those days. Fifteenth,
15th is, that's your opening, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
14th is Salter Beach.
But do we want to try to do it on that weekend where when everyone's in town for opening week, or is it better to do it earlier in the week? Is it better to push it back a little bit?
When's the does anyone, I don't even know when the graduation is this year.
Just want to capture as many bodies and inputs. Like, I don't want to lose you to the opening weekend, really.
Do it.
That's kind of where I'm going at.
I would say probably before the opening weekend. Thursday, even Friday would be open too.
Yeah.
With the 15th.
13th, 14th.
Can we do the 14th maybe, Kim?
That'd be best.
Scratch that in tentatively.
I'll be out.
You say,
You won't be here?
We have the architectural meeting that morning.
oh, it was, we're thinking like an afternoon walkthrough, right? But this is, or, yeah, which I was thinking, I just had in my mind like an afternoon
Okay,
walkthrough type thing.
okay.
Maybe,
Right.
I don't know. What's a reasonable scope of time for that? A couple out, like, an hour, maybe out at Allen Fields and an hour and change back here? Is that
hour,
is
and then
it
an hour and a
short?
half
What's
or
that?
2 hours, depending on the depth of the conversation. Yeah.
Okay,
We would have a summary of stakeholder feedback and public input for us to review so that everyone knew where the public was coming from, where the stakeholders were coming from. And so that would be a good place to synthesize where we were going with the program.
okay. That makes sense. And so then after that meeting, what's our turnaround from that to that first preferred conceptual design?
I think I'm gonna need 2 weeks to put stuff together, maybe by the 28th.
Oh, let me write this down real fast. 28 preferred concept design draft I don't know, what seems reasonable, for that 14th meeting, do we wanna, like, there's two, yeah, I was thinking like 2 or 3 to 4 or 5-ish, somewhere in there.
Does that work for you? When are you good, Jackie?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay,
You wanna
You don't
be here
get
for
to
an
know
initial or
that you're
just?
good.
that's a good question.
Your meetings in the morning?
What's best on that one, Ken? Do we have everybody who wants to be a part of that meet here? And then we all go to Allen Fields, or do we just meet at Allen Fields? What's the best way to herd the cats?
There, come.
I think, best thing to do is probably meet at Allen Fields.
Okay.
I'll put together a possible agenda when we
Okay.
get closer to it.
Okay, and so, yeah, and if I'm off on anything, let me know. After the preferred conceptual designs, we've got the feedback and work sessions. That would probably, you said a couple weeks from that, from the meeting to get that preferred design. What's a good timeline for that second, or that feedback work session? Is that a in-person type thing? Is that we all just throw our ideas via the internet to you?
It's always good to sit down and talk it through.
Okay.
To get it all out, all aired out at once.
Okay. How long do you guys think that we would need?
After the survey?
So
Is it before the walk in the fields or after?
this would be after, so walk is the 14th. He said 2 weeks to get that the preferred design concept to us. How long do we need with said design to review, and then?
We could be pretty quick after he brings
Yeah.
it to us, submits it to us. So I think we just kind of play that by ear. Once he gets it, then we'll just try to get a meeting.
Okay.
Or is it like you want all the stakeholders?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. Ken, would that feedback work session would not just be this committee, right? It would be everybody that's already engaged in
That's
the
right.
first. So yeah, we'd want to have another kind of like
So we'd need at least a week probably to
that town,
host it, yeah, let
that
everybody.
kind of, so that would be, okay, a town hall type forum. So just moving off the 28th, so the 4th, that's a week, so you'd said the 28th, so maybe the June 4th meeting for that workshop, feedback session.
Yeah.
Feedback, okay. And in that work session, would we be going over phasing and cost estimates? Or would that happen after we not finalize, but get our preferred direction?
Well, that would be, yeah, we would have cost estimates, big cost estimates associated with the preferred conceptual plan. After receiving all that information from everyone in terms of the concepts, we would have possibly something mid-June or later June. When is the grant due from to outdoor recreation? Closed January, okay, opens. There, isn't this tied to the application to the outdoor recreation fund?
No,
I thought you said 2 months.
That was
So,
to get it to
We're
council,
bumping
right?
into,
Shay, do you know?
Well, you'd have to ask Rocky exactly what he was planning on applying for, but I'm sure, yes, it has a lot to do with this. And then, also the Trails Plus grant, may have not as much this part of it, but that has stuff to do with the Allen Fields too. But I don't remember the date of the recreation grant that, I can't remember when it's due.
And I believe the Trails Plus grant opens in July.
Yeah, I can't find a deadline date for that.
Yeah, I think there's another one that he's working on applying for. Yeah, we'd have to ask Rocky. I can't remember off the top of my head what
Go and
months he
grab
has going on.
What did you say, Jackie?
Oh, the 2 month, was that to go before council though?
Yeah, that was kind of, I don't know if that 2 months is I don't know if that's a concrete deadline. I was just told 2 months so we can get a gear on and start making moves.
Well, I think it was yeah.
2 months was a great, a lot of effort on Oliver's part is what the 2 months is.
Okay.
He
fair
pretty
enough.
much got council to agree to a 2 months.
Okay, well,
And that's what's one of our driving factors. Silent, but he worked his butt off to get it to that.
Well,
point.
good
So,
job, sir. Way to get
The
it.
2 month
way to
push
get
is
us
we're
moving.
gonna cheer for that.
Would push that boulder up the hill. Here's the man of the
They
hour.
approved Oliver's proposal. Oliver's.
Okay,
Had a
I
question.
came
Maybe-
across,
Sorry, go ahead, Jim.
go ahead. Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were gonna say, I thought you,
I kind of know what the question is, but I'll let you ask it again.
I don't even know the question. I was gonna.
So the Trails Plus grant, we need to apply for that when?
Okay. Oh, the Trails Plus grant starts July 1.
And then the recreational grant, do we know?
The
on that?
recreational grant, I don't know.
Yeah.
July 1.
I can owe that to you. I
Yeah.
can email it to you.
Didn't we all receive
Couple bites of
money
product.
for Frank Young?
Huh?
We already received money for Frank Young, didn't we, 100,000?
100,000 for design. We're still
We
kind of
haven't
holding
used
on
that
to
yet.
No,
Yeah,
we haven't used that yet. And we're just kind of waiting for clarity on where we're gonna run that trail. We have a design, Dennis Engineering has the information. He's ready to work on it. But he needs to make sure that we have, the right of way to get the trail all the way down, or we need to reroute the trail.
Copy.
Now, one thought I heard of is that maybe we stop us at one point and then we continue it at another point.
Until we get that.
Yeah, and that there'll be a gap there, but at least we can get the engineering part done, which will help us with getting the construction of it done.
The other thing we're considering is we can surely go from the school already down. There's nothing, so we can work from the school down to the fields. And then, Chris had a good idea, maybe considering about a trail around the perimeter of the property, which is 76 acres.
Well, that would be great. If it would be contiguous, that would be. the best.
Yeah. I know it's not quite the scope of this, but it is a good idea right now. If we're gonna be held up and stonewalled, kind of in limbo on the connector, maybe we can pivot, use these funds for the design of the high school to here and the trail around.
Yeah.
Is there anything that stops us from doing that?
Just build your approval, I think.
Right, sure. Okay, well, it's not a bad pivot
No,
while we're in limbo.
and we do need to get that going because, if the reversion date hits, there's a likelihood that we won't get an extension.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not just us, it's just a new policy that DFA is coming up with.
No, and that makes sense, right? Like if I'm handing out grant money to people and,
Just sitting there.
yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
I'm less inclined to give you money
Yeah.
next time you ask. It's like, I already gave you 100,000. You didn't even use it. Why would?
I was in a session with DFA and they said they have $180 million of funds that have been dished out
That
and no
one,
work's done. What? Give it to us.
yeah, no, that's fair.
What is the date on that?
I think it's 29.
Oh, okay.
We still have some time.
But we've got a little time,
but
but
we've been-
that's fair. And also there's no reason I understand that there's forces moving beyond our control, but at least we can pivot, incorporate this
If
into
we can get
yeah.
around it and at least make it contiguous all the way to the high
To
school.
the high school and get a cool, build that in. I think that's a great pivot
But-
for us right now.
Yeah, but Dennis Engineering is basically just waiting for us to have that,
Okay. Gotcha. I know that this is a little off topic, but is everyone okay with that pivot?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it'll be a stakeholder, I mean,
Yeah,
something to put in there to see if it gains traction.
there,
Yeah, add it. Yeah, for sure.
recreation. So we're unsure when the rec grant opens or closes?
I'll get back to you.
Opens.
Okay,
I just can't think of that one.
that's all good, sir.
About 7 grants now, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
As far as the timeline goes, this needs to be put to council in 4 weeks from today, so that's July.
June. June. Yeah, at what point do we go before council and say, hey, this is what we're trying to do?
Well,
Are we in the ballpark or are we?
well, I'm gonna report to council.
Okay.
At least
That's
what we're doing,
Okay.
and if we can get the dates, then anybody who wants to attend from council.
Okay.
Will come.
So I'm gonna run back, our timeline, Ken, make sure we're in agreement, survey finalized by the end of this week. We'll identify some stakeholders, thank you, Rocky, appreciate it.
Sure.
Identify stakeholders, we'll get contact or we'll work on that end over to you. Mid-May, on the 14th, we'll have our site visit in Charette. 28th, preferred, concept design. June 4th, workshop here. Mid-June, the cost estimates. And then after cost estimates, where are we at on?
You know, I wanna speak real quick on the cost estimates. Ken, if, you know, obviously the rec center is not in the near future. The main drive is the pump track, playground, some trails, and those kind of things. Well, would it be beneficial not to even provide maybe cost estimates for the rec center at this time? Cause it may be 5 years down the road. No.
Just at least just a spot.
Is that possible?
Yeah, we could certainly not provide that to you, but in your CIP planning, the village's CIP planning, it's always beneficial to be looking ahead and understanding what you might be able to ask the legislature for and what you might be able to apply for the outdoor recreation grants, and then finding some other grants in between. It's just a planning tool for y'all. If you don't need that information, that's fine. I think it might be beneficial to Rocky as he's pursuing different applications.
Thanks for the clarity. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so
It does us no good not to have at least a rough cost estimate, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think some sort of sense would be beneficial in some sort of phase, some sort of understanding about what the village wishes to tackle each year. How much money do they think they can put into these facilities each year? Is always good to sort of, eat this elephant one bite at a time.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and so we're looking at mid-June cost estimates, and now we are pushing up on that 2-month window now. So after the cost estimates, how long between that to sit down, finalize one more time and present to council? Is there a step that I'm missing in between cost estimates and that finalization?
There might be a conversation with you all, sending you the preferred conceptual plan for your review and approval, sort of vetting this so that you know what's going in front of council and you're fully aware of the questions that might come up to yourselves, and I'm aware of the questions that are going to come to me. I would say by July 10th, from what I can tell, that I just snagged this from online. It looks as if it opens July 1st, the grant cycle, but the deadline is not until September 30th for round 1. So we have time to put this all together, and we could have the council meeting the first, whenever they have their council meetings in July.
First week, okay, so, they meet on it's still the 2nd and 4th Tuesday, right? So mid-June, so so we're looking July 4th, the workshop, you said 2 weeks, about 2 weeks for cost estimates, is that about right?
Yeah, that'd be useful.
More, less or more or less, so roughly, like, so that'd be like the 18th, et cetera. Would it be possible? I mean, is there enough time to do that between the 18th and the 24th? Because that would be or the 23rd. Is that a reasonable thing to look at the cost estimates, get our preferred, or get our feedback to you so that we could hit that June 23rd council meeting?
Let's shoot for it. If it doesn't happen, we can
Yeah.
extend, do the next.
So yeah, just,
Push.
all right, so right now our goal is to present something more or less final by the 23rd of June.
When's the next council meeting, Jeff?
That's a good question.
Next council meeting. 28th?
Yeah, that sounds right.
I think it's important, basically for you, Jeff, to keep them abreast so we don't get so much pushback from them when we do our finalization. Just
Sure.
keep them aware of what we're doing and what our plans are, and
Absolutely.
make sure they get some agreement before. I hate to finalize it, then have them push back and say, we don't like this at all.
Yeah, no, I will.
Here's the academy.
I'll be filling them in, every day.
Great.
Yeah, so from here, this one's, yeah, so.
I mean, we might want to attend some of those meetings too.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm happy to attend. Does that sound? Is this a feasible scope of work, Ken? Are we setting ourselves up for success, failure? You know, I'm just trying to make sure that we're on the same page with you. And if what we're talking about is actually realistic.
It's realistic. It's gonna take a lot of dedication and a lot of communication about getting people in the right place at the right time. That's what it's gonna take. But it's
Okay.
feasible.
Okay. Then we'll
Would
hurt
the-
the cats as we can.
What about the skate festival? I thought the objective was to have something on the ground there at Allen Fields for the skate festival that's typically held that 4th of July weekend.
We don't say whatsoever, just because of the up and down of the unknowns, basically.
I see.
The intention, when we started was that we would try and get something for this summer, so we would have the skate festival.
Right.
It was not gonna have to be taken down again.
Start getting movement and momentum down there.
Yeah, get the slab poured.
This is a logistical question because I wasn't at that council meeting. Do we have to have this, we need to have this finalized plan presented to council before they start pouring slab, right?
There could be two parts
Or
to
do we?
this,
I don't know. That's the question.
because, if you poured a slab and council said, I don't know, it's hard to say, because I think that if we're gonna have to provide council probably with a complete design
Right.
for approval.
That makes sense. I don't know how long's, what's the turnaround from, let's say, let's just move forward like the world's perfect and we're gonna hit our deadlines. So we get there to the June 23rd council meeting, council says, hey, this is wonderful, good job, guys. And we all get to give ourselves a round of applause for the good work we've done. How long between that approval to a slab being poured would we be looking at?
There's no infrastructure going in, so it's basically site prep work and pouring concrete, so I don't see why that could.
Could be relatively,
We don't need, we don't need anything from Kurt. We don't need, except his blessing on, this is what we're gonna do.
that's fair.
Do we have somebody willing to donate that concrete slab or?
They think that's good funding, yeah.
Yeah, they've already voted to approve it, didn't they?
We did,
Like, council's already approved the purchase of that
the
slab,
donation,
donation.
Okay.
Donation of that slab.
Okay.
the donation of funding, yeah.
Okay, cool. So, Okay, so that's still.
So they're all four, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
they're all.
I'm just trying to get a gauge of where we're at in the summer and, yeah,
I mean, he might, I mean,
at what point,
how
yeah.
fast Oliver can put his ramp up, he might can do it on the 4th of July.
Stuff there, yeah, once the slab's there, we can work fast, so.
Okay,
And again, you know, a concept where rollerblading around the.
yeah,
If we extend the slab 4 feet this way and 4 feet this way, just to have rollerblading around it,
Yeah.
I would pick for that.
all right. We do have that, we have that on the record.
4 foot of that slab.
We have that on the record for sure, Jeff, you're on the hook now. Okay, so, again, just to keep us moving and be cognizant of everybody's time on a Monday morning, what else do you need from us? And so it sounds like we've kind of, the scope of work sounds good to everybody. Are we missing anything that we might need to think of? I feel like we've got a pretty good timeline.
Like Chris said, the amended PO is probably not.
Yeah, they're already working on that.
Is that, Shay, is that something that, is that spearheading of your, or is that, who's in charge of that PO and amending said contract?
I think Ken's already in talks with Brad,
Okay.
aren't you, Ken?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's what we're waiting for, and I'd be the one that opens up the PO. So,
Okay.
yeah, we're just waiting to get an estimate so we could process that.
Okay, perfect.
And Brett
We'll-
told
we'll
me it's
let-
not gonna be a change order, it's gonna be a totally separate PO.
Okay,
And then,
understand.
Jeff, who would have the AutoCAD follow that survey?
The surveyor. So we gotta get, I believe Carl's the one that did the survey. So we would have to ask him if he would share that out.
Who needs to do that?
Dennis Engineering has shared stuff with us, so we have,
Oh,
we're okay.
Okay, so because they were saying, the lady that joined us last time was saying that this was just an overlay, so it's not super accurate.
yeah.
It's not super accurate. That's correct.
Okay, cool. So you don't need, so just you said communications important here. You don't need anything from us in terms of like an AutoCAD file for said survey.
I can't speak direct. Probably we're okay at this point. Let me double check, and maybe if you have something on hand, I may or may not be privy to it. It would be good to check in.
If Dennis Engineering did the survey, I don't know if Carl or Dennis Engineering did it.
I gotcha.
But, do you know, Ken, who did the survey? I know I provided the survey, but I didn't read to see who did it.
Ashley, I think we
I'm
have,
pretty sure the PDF said Dennis Engineering.
yeah,
Okay, that's perfect, Ken. Because
Okay.
you work directly with them anyway, right, Ken?
yes, sir.
Okay, so I guess if you need something from us on that front, you can email Jeff and I, but we will move forward where no news is good news on the survey.
Right. I'm gonna reach out to American Ramp Company and get them to, provide the design if they're already working on it. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. We'll have to move that forward and integrate that into the master plan. And that could be the graphic at the skate festival, right? That would
That'd be cool.
inform the community about what the American Ramp Company intends to do. Right?
Yep.
They're spearheading the pump track, correct?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, no, so Oliver is our nonprofit and he can coordinate a lot of that stuff. So don't let me speak for you, Oliver,
Yeah,
but
no, I can do whatever I need to do, but as far as I'm aware, as far as I know, American Ramp Company aren't involved so far.
no.
Well, so how, I think I could help with this too, is,
Sure.
after the designs, it'll go out to RFP anyway.
Right.
So we wouldn't know who would be doing the
Right.
pump track exactly.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you. I'm on the same page.
But
Whoever can do a concrete bump track.
you know, I think collaboration with them and Oliver both would be great.
It's a bit of a strange one on my part, just because, I mean, I'm not quite sure how to navigate it because if something goes out to bid, then I'm gonna bid on it. I make the donation at the skate park. And obviously, if there are things going out to bid, that would be quite a persuasive thing to get a job, would be to donate that. So that's, you know, I'm not quite sure sort of the timing and how that's happening, but the proposal I put forward was that basically I would build the skate park and then look for funding to, you know, I'm gonna be building out of wood primarily. And then we would replace over time with concrete and we'd find funding for that and kind of keep developing the park. So there's a whole proposal and a whole sort of method of how we would do that. Whether that's the thing that the council and you guys want to go with 100% or whether we want to mix and match or, you know.
It, you know, it depends on what kind of grants we would get, really. I mean, and, you know, the grants would play a role in that as well, so.
I got you. I should have gone to that council meeting. It's,
There's some details to work out, but I'm flexible, you know, whatever we have to do to make it happen and make it the best thing it can be.
yeah, understood. Okay. Okay, so back on, just to keep moving, not to glaze over that, because that's kind of important, but not to, yeah, I'm not trying to, what else do you need from us, Ken? Is this,
No, I think I've got enough information. I'll put it all together into a proposal and put it in front of y'all.
okay, sweet, do we have, is there any stones that need to be looked under right now, or?
I just need all those dates.
Okay,
If you can type that up and send it to me.
yep, I can do that.
And we'll wanna talk to Ileana after the meeting to make sure
Oh,
there's nothing going on during those times.
okay,
Or if for anything that's, you know, gonna be held.
okay, that makes sense. All right, so we'll interface with the village clerk to make sure that, our proposed, dates at Village Hall are available. I'll confirm that with them and then confirm with you. Oh, here she is.
I heard village clerk, so.
We can just knock this out right now.
Yes, let's do this. What date were you?
So we were planning on having a in-person meeting here in Allen Fields on the 14th of May, or sorry, yeah, 14th of May, 2 to 5. Just budget in some extra time. Is that available?
2 to 5, yes, that works.
All right, perfect. And let's see, is there? Make sure then the 28th would be the preferred concept design drafts. So then we had said the next would be June 4th for another workshop here at Village Hall.
June 4th is good.
Do we want to keep that kind of the same? Oh, so do we want to do that in the morning or do we want to do that afternoon? What works better for
it?
Maybe yes. I'm guessing maybe afternoon, since if we want more community engagement, I feel like it's easier to get off a couple hours in the afternoon than it is to slate us something in the middle of the day. I don't know how any of us are actually
Better
here.
for afternoon.
Afternoon's better. Yeah, okay.
It's usually in the morning on Thursdays.
All right, cool. So let's just say, do we want to do 3, is that a 2 or 3 hour type thing? Like, I don't want to, you know, the butt can only, the brain can only take what the butt can sit.
2 hours would be the max, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So let's do 3 PM,
2 to 5?
3 to 5 on the 4th.
Okay.
Okay, mid-June would be cost estimates. And so we had said, so let's see, we're gonna try to make that, so, so what's, the night, so let's say like, is the 19th a feasible time for us to review? Is it, I guess the question is a week good enough between that, is a week enough time for you between that June 4th, Wait, the cost, yeah, the 18th, is that a reasonable time to get those cost estimates to us?
Uh-huh.
Okay, is that a in-person meeting? I guess we probably do want to have an in-person. So let's say the 19th, a Friday afternoon, happy hour finalizing type of thing.
A holiday and the village will be closed.
Oh, just, it is Juneteenth, shame on me for getting the plight. Do we?
That's members weekend also.
What was that?
Ooh, I'll do this weekend. I'll be good.
When is
First
members
weekend's the
weekend?
12th, it's the week before.
We should do a table for this.
We can have a table, we won't have.
I think the village, I think they're gonna talk to, see, I think Eric's gonna talk to BJ and see if he wants to do the same thing he did last time.
Oh,
That would be on that Saturday, the 13th after the meeting, or,
Okay.
yeah,
always we could have something like this, we'll have something to present there.
yeah.
So
June what?
June
12th?
13th. June 12th will be the member dinner, and then June 13th is the meeting,
13 member.
the actual annual meeting where they'll. Yeah.
So if June 19th, if the village is closed, I mean, can we cram that in? Could we meet Monday? Have that brainstorming, that kind of finalization, with you? Is a day turnaround feasible, or is that asking too much?
What day are you looking at?
Well, because if the 19th is closed, I guess can we meet on the 18th?
Yeah.
Would that work for you, Ken, with the 18th?
Sure.
The
The 18th will be which meeting?
18th will be that, the finalization meeting. Could we do 3 to 5 on the 18th?
Yes.
Are we asking too much, Ken?
This is an accelerated schedule, but you're not asking too much. We just need to
Fair
respond.
enough,
and
I'm gonna ask, it's up to you to push back.
Well, I can say that, even with this, there may be some modifications later or some growths or some changes later to this, but at least this gets us something to work with and get some things.
Well, it gets us moving in the right
So
direction.
it's not like we have to put the rec center exactly where we decided today.
Sure,
So,
sure.
I mean, it's,
We have some flexibility, but
Right.
more so, this is just the giddy up, so Oliver we can get a slab and moving on that front. All right, well, then, I guess so, we'll do the 18th for that finalization, and I guess, Lord willing, try to present to council on the 23rd.
Right.
so I wanna let council know about all these 3 dates. We
Okay.
got 3 dates, right?
Yeah, so we have,
May 14th.
we have May 14th for site visit in Charette. We have June 4th workshop feedback session, and June 18th for finalization workshop session.
The only issue with the 18th and trying to get it on the 23rd agenda is that we have to have all our agenda items into Ileana by Wednesday, the 16th.
Well, that still works though, because because on that agenda item, all we have to say is that we're presenting, right? We can hammer, yeah,
So I could do a placeholder.
yeah, we'll just, yeah. We can figure out the details
And whatever.
of what gets presented on the 18th.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Is everyone good with this? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
Well, I want to raise another scope issue if it's appropriate.
Sure.
And that is access off of 434 to Allen's Fields. Is that part of this or not?
That is a.
Ken, I think, Ken, you have a PO for that already, don't you?
That's right, but we can definitely add that in. I think that was part of the idea development. Yes.
That, Chris, to answer your question, that's already in the works with Ken, so he can put that actual
Okay.
entrance to Allen Fields into this whole plan as part of that. Is that right, Ken?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I hadn't heard it, so I wasn't sure.
We're gonna go from there to the.
Decision, all right.
But see, this,
That's better than going.
Right,
Whatever it is, probably better than what we got, to be fair.
I just had a thought, would it be useful to provide the proposal, the written proposal for the skate park to Ken and to you guys, if there's anything you haven't seen on it, you can kind of weigh
At
in
least
what you
for-
think about and stuff.
Financial.
Yeah, I would say that's very helpful. I mean, the more information that we have, the better.
Where would be the best place to send that?
Are they there? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's.
And then don't send.
That's like
Yeah.
emailing it to me. He forwarded it to Ken, and I can send it to it.
Yeah. Ken, what's, I have your email. Let me make sure I do. Yeah, since, man, I wish Attila was here. I don't want to be the adult.
You're doing great.
I've got your email, Ken, so I will forward, I'll take point on, communication for a lot of this stuff. I'll forward over Oliver's proposal to you, so you just have it. And, okay,
Okay.
everyone, we feel good about this? All right. Hey, Ken, Ashley, thank you so much, for your time. Everyone else, thank you. We appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome, and, we'll be in touch
Right.
with the survey. I'll keep an eye out for it as soon as I get it circulated, and we'll, first goal is to try to finalize that by the end of the week.
real
You
quick too, the recreational grant opens July 1st.
Yeah.
Both of them.
July 1.
Till September, I think you said.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be nice. At least we're gonna have something to slap on an application.
First one. Right.
Sweet. You need anything else from us, sir?
We're good. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Ken. Really appreciate you guys.
Hey,
Bye.
Alrighty,
When was our next regular meeting? Was that the
when was the next regular meeting? Was it
We
the
had
next
30th or
the
something.
30th?
Yeah.
Yes, it's April 30th.
of this? Okay, yeah, so we're meeting next Thursday.
And I just have a quick question for Jeff and Oliver. Did you guys get my email invite for a meeting on Wednesday at 9:30?
Yes, ma'am.
Say that again, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, I didn't look at it.
Included, I sent it out on, I don't know when I sent it out, maybe just Friday, but looking at Wednesday at 9:30 to meet with Oliver and Manager Weir.
I looked at my emails this morning, I didn't see that.
I did get
Okay, I
that.
sent it to your,
Okay, I'll look. at
your
it.
council
But
one,
what day?
but
What,
Wednesday at 9:30,
this Wednesday at 9:30?
29th.
yes.
Oh,
Okay, I'm gonna put it in my agenda.
Yeah.
This Wednesday, the 29th at 9:30.
No,
To meet
this
you.
Wednesday's the 22nd.
Okay, so,
This
Is this the
Wednesday's
meeting
the
I need to be
22nd,
there?
9:30.
okay, cool. And I will.
And we're meeting with Oliver and who?
Right, yeah, perfect.
Brett and me
So that's my time.
Okay. Okay,
at
Sweet.
Village Hall. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Shag. All right, sounds like, everyone all good? All right, meeting adjourned.